This is Bruce Mufson, LCSW, coming at you with another video breakdown from SUNRIDGE, Nevada. For those of you new to the channel, I want to explain what the purpose of our channel is. We want to give you information so that you have a better understanding about mental health issues. As for my background, I went to the University of Georgia where I received an MSW in social work. After I graduated, I had to do a 2-year internship and then take a national exam to become a licensed clinical social worker. I have worked in a hospital as well as outpatient settings where I worked with many people at home. In addition, I also testified hundreds of times in court in front of a judge, ADA, and public defender to explain mental health issues regarding adolescents and adults. In addition, I've also done extensive public speaking, mostly to law enforcement, about the best ways to work with the mentally ill. In addition, to maintain my license, I have to take 36 hours of classes every 2 years to maintain my license. Tonight's song, we're going to, as we continue to do with Kendrick Lamar and his album, Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, is called Rich Spirit. And what I intend to do, as always, is break down the lines that I find clinically significant. So here we go. I'm going to start off in the verse 1 where it goes, "And celebrity do not mean integrity, you fool." I want to clarify this before I even get started. I only did 10 lines from the entire song, but these 10 lines really resonated with me. So let's go back to the first 2. "And celebrity do not mean integrity or fool." Message to everyone: don't believe what you read on the internet and assume that it's real, because it's not. What you see and what you get are very, very different. What he is saying in the song is to learn to think for yourself. You never know the true story of what is going on behind the curtain. This is something that I tell patients all the time. Then, still looking at verse 2, at the very end, it goes, "And my cousin tried to sue me like he got the privilege." Wow. You think because you're rich and famous, you don't have to deal with this stuff anymore. Family's close, family comes together, family's happy about your success. Wrong. There's a line from The Wire where it goes, "If you come at the king, best be sure you don't miss." Meaning once you get to the top, it's a lot easier to fall down, and to stay on top is not easy. And you think that, hey, family, but then they begin to think that this is normal to do so, normal to sue you. Learn to be careful about people, as once you have things is when people's true nature comes out and you see them for who they really are. Getting to the top is hard, but again, as someone said, staying there is even harder. Okay. Then, verse 3, "A peacemaker, but I'm not naive, brother." What Kendrick is saying is, I've learned from experience, doing these tours, taking time off, starting a family, I have to be 2 types of people to survive, actually even more. And as you grow older, you learn to get, unfortunately, sometimes harder and colder, because you start to see things differently. Because at his level, at his status, someone goes there and they pay like $300 a ticket to sit even in a nosebleed section, and he's not amazing, he's not incredible. What are the cries? "You blow, you stink, I wasted all my money." They don't know what's going on in your head, but you better perform, you better perform. Not just Kendrick, but for anyone that wants to strive forward in life, be prepared. People are going to come at you. For jealousy, for anger, they're not in your position. And they, a lot of times, don't even want to work as hard as you. But boy, do they resent your success and love to see you fall. I tell it to a lot of kids all the time. And then, you gotta watch your homies and police, brother. Okay, I want to focus this line for just a few minutes. Why did he juxtapose homies and police in the same line? Think about it. You would think those two are diametrically opposed to each other. Your homies, your best friends. You're my homie, homie, homie for life, homie together. And the police, which many people have negative experiences with. So why would you compare the two together? Well, this is a brilliant two lines. I'm going to say it one more time. Hey, gotta watch your homies and police, brother. Because so many times when something happens, my homies, you know, forever, homies for life, homies for death, they get stopped. They get stopped by the police, traffic stop, drug search, something happens. And they say, hey, you're looking at some serious time, my brother. And they say, you got anything you can offer? You know what? Ironically, officer, yes, I do. And they give you up. How do you think so many cases get solved? Is your homies, what you think are your homies, giving you up? So he's saying, watch your homies and watch the police. The two are not as dissimilar as you think they are. That's brilliant, because we sometimes think that, oh, they're very, very different, very, very separate. They're not. So we say this all the time to people that I work with. Who are your friends? Who are you talking to? What is your circle going to look like? People are going to really have your back? Doubtful. Or people that are losers, want to take advantage of you and want to use and abuse you. So in his mind, they are one and the same, and watch both very, very carefully. And then he ends off with, clout chasing, hell of a disease, brother. Clout chasing. Hell of a disease, brother. What is he saying? It's a waste of time. Forget about how many likes you get, how popular you are on Twitter, Instagram, you know, YouTube. Oh my God, so many followers, so many followers. What does it mean? I checked on our old site. We had, I think, close to like 12,000 followers, which I thought was great. But hey, you know what? We got a new channel. We want you to come to the new channel, but put it in perspective. What does it mean? What do I tell people to focus on? Focus on your family, focus on your kids. That's what's important. That's your real home life, not your homies. What happens, what he's trying to say is, he's gotten older. You see the photo now, he's holding that little girl. His girlfriend's holding that little kid. That's it, family. That's what he should be focusing on now. He's kind of realizing that. You have to learn who is your friend, who is not. I've done this hundreds of times. I say to people, how many best friends do you really, sorry about that. How many true friends do you really have? Raise your hand. Here's what happens. I get maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 3. And that doesn't matter who I'm talking to, the age of the group, 2, maybe 3. And I'll say to people also, if you had to start your own business and you needed people to wear your polo shirt with your logo over their heart, who would you take with you? They go like this: 1, maybe 2 people. All the people you know, and you kind of, when you get cold about it, it's not that many that you want to follow you, that you can rely on, okay? I spend a lot of time teaching this, not to get caught up in like these fantasies, the likes, the dislikes. It's a lot of times it's meaningless. Those aren't really your friends. What Kendrick is saying is, don't be naive and to look behind the curtain. What am I saying, look behind the curtain? Go watch The Wizard of Oz at the end. Don't look at Oz. Don't look at me. The dog pulls on the curtain. What's behind the curtain? An old man manipulating everything. So you think you know, you don't know. You think you know the situation, you don't know. It's amazing how many people think they know what's going on and they don't have a clue. Anytime I work with kids, they're trying to get better. They say, I want to get out of special ed. I don't want to be in fights all the time. I don't want to be RPC. I don't want to play ball. I always say to them, who are you hanging around with then? Who are you going to be hanging around with in the future? Is it the same kid? Not to knock special ed, but is it going to be the same kids from special ed that get into trouble all the time? Is it people that are jealous of you, that you're a good athlete, that you're handsome, that you're smart, that you have talent, that you're actually good in class? Because if you break it down, what do they have in common with you? Nothing. They liked you when you were in trouble all the time, messing up and making mistakes, but going forward, they drop off you like rain on a jacket because there's nothing to hold on to. It's all false. People are so easily swayed by the internet and they think fantasy is reality. Internet's great at that. This must be true, and the truth is it's not. That's why when you talk to the right people, you get a different perspective and learn to see things differently. And guess what? At my age, we said this before, I'm going to be 60 years old this year. I'm still learning how to do that effectively because I make mistakes with that. So the point is not that I'm so much better than you and I know everything, but learn to ask people, what do you think? Take advice. Get a mentor. We talked about this before. Find someone with a good insight and follow through with it. In conclusion, like I said at the beginning, I only took 10 lines from this song, which is, for me, fairly unusual. But you know what? These 10 lines from Kendrick regarding this song are chock full of wisdom. Do me a favor. Watch the song again. Watch it a few more times. Focus on those 10 lines and come back with me with your thoughts about my perspective. Does that make sense to you? And could you give me any perspective of your own that you kind of see things differently after my breakdown and looking at things differently? Bruce Mufson, LCSW, Sunridge, Nevada.